All right, here we go. Right. Sorry, I was streaming in the landscape mode, and I couldn't clamp my phone down to the holder, so I had to stream in portrait mode. I wish I could. I'll have to find a way to do that. So, in the meantime, this will be how I can talk to everyone. So, sorry to Infinity Gamer because he came on and said hello, and I was just leaving. But I'm heading back to my house now. So, just went to go visit my mother. And more palm, best all around palm fungicide. Let's see. Probably. I use Daconil. I found that Daconil works well with everything. Just the diluted form. There's also Subdue. To me, honestly, I really don't like to use chemicals, but I think hydrogen peroxide works just as well. So, and it's safer and cheaper. Some of those chemicals are very expensive, like $200 a quart. Even though it is concentrated, you can't buy it in any smaller version. So, like, I don't use Roundup. I don't use anything like that. So, going through Northport again. My way home, I got to know every single light. Try and see how I can, without breaking land speed records, seeing how I can get a better time than I did the time before. So, but this is mostly meant for open questions and that sort of thing. I wish there was more palm stuff I could show you everyone on the way, but really just what you'll see on the trip is what palms are. The windshield's a little bit cleaner than it was on the way up. So let me see if I can get this a little bit more away from the suction cup. It seems to be a hard thing to do. So anyway, Tuesday night was pretty active. Maybe it'll be a few more minutes before people decide to come in. But play any music in the meantime. Wish I could play Amazon Music and stream it and stream this, but I think my phone would catch on fire. So, let's see what else is available here. Remember, what kind of palm seeds do you sell and how? So, the palm seeds that I have are actually posted on my Facebook website business page, Faulkner's Palms. I'm actually getting another half dozen species at least in the next 5 or 6 days. You can email me at Faulkner's Palms LLC at gmail.com. You can message me on my Facebook webpage, my Facebook business page, and yeah, I mean, I sell everything. I'm going to give you an idea. I have Carpentaria, I have Cocothrinax, I have Gausia, I have Shippia, I have teddy bear palms, Dipsis leptochilos. What else? Up and coming, I'm going to have old man palm seeds. I'm going to have Cocothrinax borhidiana. I'm going to have lipstick palm cedar statues, Renda. Gonna have Adalea Cahoon seed, hopefully, as long as my friend that said he was sending me seed is sending me seed, because I've been waiting on them to send me something of value for quite some time now. So getting stuff from out of the country can be kind of a pain at times. So this is coming fresh out of Belize, so I'll be growing a lot of those. The Adaleas are a lot of fun to grow. Not as much fun if you're not in a climate that can, where you have to bring them inside, because they do get very large though. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the seed I'll have next week. I'm trying to think what else I have. I'm gonna have a hybrid, a Butea, like a mule palm, but it's actually a mule from Butea capitata crossed with Siagris coronata. So it'll have like a little bit stiffer leaflets, supposedly. So I'll have some of those seed. I think that's, what else? Just trying to think. I know there's more. I'm gonna have an updated list at November 1st, so that's probably the best way to. If you want like the newest list. I mean, I still have fresh seed from like right now, but if you want fresh seed now, you can email me, and yeah, the best way. I wish I could give you the. I should probably do a live chat where I can type back, because right now I can't do that without crashing. So what will happen if I Bismarck? Let's see. 15 centimeters. That's like 6 inches. No, that's not too bad. It'll be okay. I wouldn't let it grow, like root out the pot. Just when you get a chance, just try and get a deeper pot. You might have some twisty leaves, but yeah, that's probably. I used to put Bismarckias in 1 gallon pots, which are 6 inches deep, and they'll grow in them. But I would say for the longer term, you want to go ahead and put them in, like at least a 25 centimeter pot. I would say is probably about right. That it could grow in there for a while. For some reason, that difference in depth is a big deal. So for them, because I remember when I used to pot up the Bismarckias into real deep pots, and I had hundreds of them, and then it was a bad economy. I was selling them for like, I don't know, $1 a pot. The pots were worth like 65 cents, so I wasn't really making any money. But this is like 2008, so I was just happy with partying with them. So, but anyway, anyone feel free to ask any questions. I'm driving. This definitely makes. It looks like there's people now that people have been entering the chat or the stream. So feel free to ask any questions. This is when I'm the most talkative about some of my trade secrets. So. Hello, Florida Herper. Hopefully Infinity Gamer can also come on here. I felt bad that I killed the live stream before on him. It wasn't on purpose. Probably talking to myself, but I had it in landscape mode, like flip the phone. Hello. Hey Ryan, what's going on? Every time I see you, I think about playing in an Omaha game, so or a mixed game. But yeah, I'm glad you guys came on. I mean, A.T. Johnson. So yeah, I mean, I was surprised when not to give out too much info, but when you showed me those chips from the coming down Northport this weekend, but next. Okay. That's good because I'm gonna be in I'm actually gonna be in St. Cloud outside of Orlando this weekend for a Halloween party. And then I'm actually in Northport right now, Ryan, by the way. I just left it. I don't know if you noticed, that was Toledo Blade in 41. But I'll be in St. Cloud this weekend. And next weekend I will be probably in the area. So Ryan, you might recognize a few of the areas. I'm coming up on El Jabin Road and the Port Charlotte Mall. So, but I'm just driving through Northport. Yeah, I hope to be getting more and more. Oh, I'm actually going to have a few cycad seeds too. And so if you guys are interested, yeah, sorry, you remember the part, yeah. It's pretty much just, strip malls and restaurants and that sort of thing. So, and people that willing to risk their life to get in the road. So, a few strip clubs. I wouldn't know anything about that though, because it's really not my thing. So, and if Ashley sees this stream, she's gonna kill me. This me mentioning it. Actually, she won't. She'll probably laugh. But yeah. What else was I going to mention? So yeah, next weekend I'll be coming back and forth. I'm doing some consultation work in the middle of the state, but I'll be around, and hopefully I can show you guys some palm related stuff here on this stream. I wish I could pan. What I might do is I actually drank a lot of iced tea, so I might need to. Okay, I'll finish that in a second. Are the Canary Islands desert climate? Let me just get through. Port Charlotte's like driving in some crazy places. Everyone does different speed. Are the Canary Islands? So let me see if I can recognize that. Are the Canary Islands in a desert climate, or do date palms just happen to grow there? So the Canary Islands are actually in it's almost like a frost-free Mediterranean climate, most of it. It is, let me see if I can equate it to something. If Los Angeles was about 5 degrees warmer in the winter, that's pretty much how the Canary Islands would be, most of it, unless you're up in the mountains. But Tenerife, I mean, they grow coconuts in the Canary Islands, so that's the thing, is it is a little bit warmer there. It's kind of like it's semi-arid. It's like a tropical savanna slash semi-arid, depending on what part of the island you're on and how much rain you get. So, because you can get a lot of rain on one side of the island and not on the other. But Tenerife is actually a very, very palmy place. One of the best palm botanists in the world. His name's Carlo Merici. He's Italian, but he seems to spend a lot of time in Spanish-speaking countries. But he's the curator of palms at the Tenerife Palmatum de Tenerife, and it has some of the best palms in the world there. He collected a lot of things from Cuba back in the 90s, and really energetic guy, really nice guy, and he was sort of a mentor from afar for me. And so if you ever go to the Canary Islands, anyone in Europe that vacations there, go to the Palmatum there and say hi to Carlo. If I ever come to Texas, I've been to Texas once. I went to Brownsville, but normally I don't have much of a reason to come to Texas. I mean, I liked it when I was there. I just, for work, I didn't really, I don't really come there that often. So I said, Nathan in New Orleans lost ice storm. When survives the oldest. No, I think in New Orleans that was an anomaly. I know. I have plenty of, I should say I have like 3 or 4 friends in New Orleans that grow queen palms there, and I saw queen palms all over there. So unless you're in like a very cold area of New Orleans, then I wouldn't replace it. But I don't think I think that was kind of an anomaly. It's kind of like the way coconuts are in a lot of Florida. So, wow, there's a lot of people. So, can I start cycad seeds in a baggie? Yes, that's actually how I normally do it. I rarely will put cycad seeds in an open container. There's only certain ones I will do, like Zamias, Caribbean ones. So, let me see here. I use cocoa peat. So if you want to use that, find it. You can use moss or that as well. Another question. I have a bonsai revoluta, which is so indoors. So we haven't flushed in a while. So if it's indoors, it's probably going to hold its flushing until it sees heat for prolonged heat for a period of time. Like one day of 85 degrees isn't going to flush it. You could probably just leave it as it is, and it won't do anything the entire winter, and it should be fine. Just give it a little bit. Just make sure you give it sunlight. You can't give it the heat, and then in the spring it'll just flush again, most likely. Although Revoluta has been known to flush kind of whenever, but you can kind of hold plants back from flushing if you bring them indoors in a while. Okay. Different variety of sable for 8B other than palmetto and minor. So in 8B you can grow. Always the police are always out in Port Charlotte. I don't know if there's just a lot of stuff going on or anyway. Sables for 8B, and I wish I could write this down, but there's Sable causiarum, Sable domingensis, Sable, let's see, I wouldn't do Sable yappa or Sable mauritiiformis because those are a little cold sensitive. You can do all the the Texan sables like Sable brazoria or There we go. We're back. And everyone's gone now. I'm sad. I say negative 46 hours on this. Oh, we're back. 3 people back already. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but the stream is disconnected in Port Charlotte. I have Verizon. I should have pretty good coverage, so let me flip it around. Might have to. You guys who are here might have to Yeah, I can't. I don't see the messages. I just lost connection somehow. I don't know how, because I'm on 41. There's pretty good reception, especially for Verizon. But anyway, it happened. I had to restart. My phone froze, and I had to restart the whole thing. So. Unfortunately. Also, unfortunately, this isn't exactly the most picturesque landscape, so. Just sitting behind cars on roads. Although it's probably more interesting than taking 75. Quick trivia. This song is actually the song was you guys know, if you guys want to figure out how old I am, the song was #1 on the Billboard hits the week that I was born, so I'll let you listen to it. So you guys might know, get an idea of how old I am. And by the way, that was Celebration. You guys were familiar with it. So. Anyway, hopefully the questions will stream back in. We got interrupted by poor service. If I had like another cell phone service that I knew was going to cut out on me, like Sprint, I wouldn't be as disappointed. But Verizon, surprised. Just double checking the screen here. I don't know if my phone overheated. That's a possibility too. It's quite warm, but I don't think that it's touching the seat. I just don't think that. Who knows? Something happened. So we're leaving Punta Gorda. You know what? I gotta go to this Walgreens real quick. You guys think about what you want to ask me. I want to leave the. Pretty crazy. I might leave the car running. I'm not sure. The phone will be running though. So you guys watch the car for me while I'm in there. So if someone steals it, this will be live on the internet, which would be actually kind of funny in a way, but I would rather that not happen. So let's see what happens here. I'm just gonna. I'll be right back. You guys chat amongst yourselves. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay. Let's see. I see there's 9 people watching. Let's see. No one's saying anything. I don't know if I'm just missing it, if the people are saying it. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I was missing the... Yeah, I washed my hands. Alright, so let me go through this and check this out. Hello, Captain, my captain. And okay, man, there's a lot of questions. A lot of... Okay, I gotta... Okay. I'm back to the question that or the comment that I missed when I first went off here. So I think I mentioned the sables that were good. Causey Arm, Domingensis. You could try Sable Yappa. It's probably going to be a little bit cold sensitive. Same with Mauritia formis, but it's worth a try. There's other types like Sable Guatemalensis, which really isn't a real species, and Sable Gretheri, but I just don't think. Do you think any natural habitats are expanding? If they're expanding, it's probably not naturally at this point because there's so many people where the palms are. I don't think that they're expanding naturally. They're expanding artificially for sure. Naturally, probably not, because we're as humans, we tend to we tend to unfortunately cut down a lot of the habitat, and we will also kill wildlife, which will spread plants. So unfortunately, that's my view on that, and I think that I'm probably pretty close to what's going on there. So what's between the Peru queen and a regular queen? There's really no different. A Peru queen, if you're talking about the type of queen that grows in the colder habitat, like Santa Catarina queen, Peru queen, if that's a common name, I'm gonna have to look it up for the Latin name. But there's this idea. There's this Santa Catarina queen, which sometimes will be called the Silver Queen, but it's not a real. It's supposedly more cold hardy, but I don't believe it. I just don't think that that's a real thing. So there's times where it can be real. So thanks so much for your advice. No problem. Another ride time. Cool. Thanks for the reply today. Sure thing, Jeff. Sorry, I didn't bring my computer with me, or if I did, I didn't really break it out, and so I just get stuff on my phone. Ready to try to get my cocoa palms. When you say cocoa palms, do you mean your coconuts or your cocoa? Here, okay. So I just fertilize them. Really good, well draining soil. Coconuts, surprisingly, even though they're tropical, actually like a well draining soil. They naturally grow in sand, and they don't get a whole lot of nutrients in that sand naturally. So if you give them a lot of fertilizer and water, they will grow faster. But you need a good drainage. So yes, Model Palm just got it last. I'm trying to decide if I should put it in the ground. Now that's going to be something you're going to need to protect in New Orleans. New Orleans does have a very favorable microclimate. Unlike the rest of Louisiana, it just has on the south side of the lake there, urban, and you have the urban area and the lake. So, because I've been to the north side of the lake, like an hour north near the I-55, I-12 junction, and it gets a lot colder out there than it does in the city. But I mean, unless it's in a courtyard in like urban New Orleans where there's never really any frost, and 32 degrees is going to melt that palm. I mean, it's going to burn that palm. 30 is going to start to melt almost all the leaves. So just keep that in mind with the bottle. You might want to protect it. You can protect it for quite some time. So, yeah, I tend to go live. I need to figure out how to announce a live stream. I was going to announce this, but can you see? Yeah, so I can see the messages now. So is Coquito the same as Chilean wine palm? I think so. No, Coquito I think is named for another South American. I think it's for Acrocomia. Problem is I don't know a lot of the common names because I just don't use them. I'll tell you this: Latin is very useful in if someone were to take, if you were to read like a basic Latin textbook and get a lot of the prefix and suffixes, you would rather use the Latin names. Sorry, my mouth is dry. But I would definitely go with like Latin. I know they're larger. I mean, the common stuff like the bottle and spindle, I use those too. Really, the most common palms I tend to use the common names for. So, anyways, yeah, it isn't cool to jewel in school. I never had a jewel. I had another one similar to it, but yeah, I wash my hands, and Georgia's climate is. I actually think Georgia's climate is. It really depends on where you are in Georgia, but I think Georgia's climate is very similar to North Florida, but to South Florida there isn't anything else quite like it. Every little bit of further south you go, the little more you can get away with, especially when you cross rivers. Coastal Georgia is a lot like northern coastal Florida, and inland Georgia is a lot. You can grow pretty much the same palms in Tallahassee that you can in, say, Valdosta, Georgia. There really isn't any change there. It's still like a zone 8-ish, mid-zone 8. But if you go over to Jacksonville Beach, you can get you can grow queen palms out there, no problem. Can't beat Southern Florida. Yeah, I mean, as far as climate goes, there's some downsides to living here that I'm probably not going to discuss on a palm live stream. But how hardy are the silver Bismarck than the green? A lot hardier. Green Bismarcks will actually start to develop burn in a frost. I've seen at 31 degrees green Bismarck turn completely brown. And I've seen a silver Bismarck take 23 degrees with no burn whatsoever. Not saying they'll all take that, but the more silver the better. And they also look nicer. Green Bismarcks are kind of like big sables that are just less cold hardy. They grow faster, but they come from a more tropical part of Madagascar, and that's probably why. So they don't go through as much drought or soil deprivation. So, what temperature would you set a thermostat for germinating palms in a heat mat? That's a good question. I would say 85 Fahrenheit if you can hold. If you can get 90, then I would do 90, but 85 is just fine. So wire medjool is so expensive. Yeah, the quality in Florida is not so much the grower as it is the climate. The humidity really puts a damper on like the quality of what date palms look like. Small dates, small medjools are going to be not that expensive, but when you get trunk on them, people seem to want to pay a lot more money for them. So, for example, in the city of Venice, they around when I moved there in 2004, they lined the streets with dates, and they were $4,500 each. Almost 15 years ago. So, and there's got to be, I don't know, close to 100 of them. So, you can imagine the amount of money that was spent. How do palms grow naturally in mountains? Sorry, wouldn't it get too cold? They really, I don't think they grow up in the mountains. They're more in the valleys. because Afghanistan can get very cold depending on where you are. It really grows in like small parts of Afghanistan. It's really more of a, I think we are thinking of the plant you're mentioning is Nanorops ricciana, the Mazari palm. It's kind of grows between Iran and Afghanistan and some of the warmer areas, and parts, I think, Pakistan as well. It doesn't really grow up near like Kabul, that area. It just gets a little bit too chilly. But it's pretty cold hardy. That's another cold hardy. I've never done a vlog on Nanorops. So, what's the lowest temperature that coconuts can live through? Well, if you're talking about like a one-time hit, one-time hit of coconuts, like I've seen coconuts go down to 25 and bounce back from it like one time, but I mean, I'm not saying that they can take that even once. I've seen it happen before. I'd say they can take 27, 28 one time and be okay as long as it's for a couple hours. As far as like repeatedly, if that happened that 3 times they're dead for sure. Twice they're probably dead. But yeah, just they don't like repeated cool temperatures. They can take a little spike down to the upper 20s though. Yeah, no problem, Jacob. It's really because of that area is kind of not very friendly. It's not really known a whole lot about their habitat as it would say palmetto or royal or even a lot of the other more common. I mean, it's actually relatively common now, the Nanorops. So there's another question when it comes to hardiness, whether trunk or fruit. If I winterize for moisture more than you winterize for moisture more than temperature. Yeah, I mean, if you're winterizing, are you saying if you're, as long as you give it some moisture, that it's kind of hard to understand what you meant there, but at least I'm not really understanding it. Protect from rains. Okay, that makes sense. I think that the bottle palms don't seem to have a problem with cool weather. They will grow in San Diego. They seem to do okay there. They get, at least the parts that are frost free. It's just that once it gets below 32, they'll start going downhill and the leaves burn immediately. So if you can keep it from getting to 32, then you should be fine. The water isn't as big of a deal, like say it is with a coconut. Because when coconuts are cold and wet, they get very unhappy. So yeah, one thing I was going to mention before I check out the messages again, I will be getting seed of Zamia picta, which is a naturally variegated cycad. It's very palm-like. It's very cool. It's very easy to take care of. It's not very big. I think it makes a good indoor plant. I think it would. So, yeah, they don't mind wet feet. I wouldn't if you have good drainage, I wouldn't let them sit in water. If you have that problem, then I would protect them from the rain. Some plants don't want to be wet when it's cold out, like a coconut. If it's going to be cold or chilly, they just rather be dry. If it's going to be like freezing or windy, then any plant wants to keep the moisture in. So I guess any tropical plant, I should say, the desert palms and the subtropical ones like palmettos, they don't seem to care about a whole lot. The only thing palmettos really don't like are being transplanted. Same thing with Serenoa, the saw palmetto. And yeah. So anyway, I was saying that the Zamias, I'll have Zamia picta and I'll have a limited amount of Ceratozamia moquelliana, which is actually a pretty rare cycad from Tabasco, Chiapas in southern Mexico. And we are going so slow here. Uh, so let's see what else. Yeah, if you plant them in, on them. Yeah, if you mound them up, you should be fine. So the bottles. Yeah, the Trachycarpus. The only trachea that does well in Florida is, at least in Central and South Florida, is Wagnerianus, and it seems to love it here. It loves our hot weather, and we love it too. But yeah, when it doesn't get cool enough, because I mean we're pushing Halloween here, and it's still 76 at 8 o'clock at night. Just when even the middle of winter, when it's 55 and at night, it just isn't cool enough. So, but definitely like Fortunii and I've never tried growing Nonus or what's the other one? This Stone Gate Palm. I know the common name, but I don't remember the other species. I know. Let's see. How do you spell that? Aqueliata. Oh, the cycad. It's like Miqueliana. Like so. Miquelliana, and they're actually very cold hardy too. I have some that went through 27, just totally unfazed. The thing about cycads is they're usually a lot more. This is the entrance to Cape Coral here. They're a lot more cold hardy on average than palms. The average cycad can take 25 Fahrenheit for the most part. They mostly grow in more subtropical areas or areas that tend to have more drought. So there's less tropical cycads. So, Techeel, that's another one. Princeps, I forget. Yeah, the thing is, I just don't. We just don't grow those here, so I don't really remember them that well. I don't know a whole lot about Techeel either. I just know about Nanus. I think there's Trachycarpus aureophyllus too. I think that's a species. So 4 single minor seeds that I just can't get to germinate. Yeah, if the sables haven't germinated, they're pretty straightforward. They either germinate or they don't. If they're not germinating for you, I would throw them away or just throw them on the ground and see what happens, or throw them even somewhere you don't worry about them. There's been times that I've been surprised by germination. You'd be surprised what ends up germinating in the long run, but leaving seeds in the soil. So, but Mantra ferns. Yeah, I think that people in general just don't really like ferns here in Florida. The ones at least that are, I don't know, they see them as like almost like weeds. They see there are some weedy ferns here, and I had to weed a bunch of ferns out of some of my cycad pods. So yeah, into the woods they go. You never know. In the next spring they might, or I don't know how warm it is where you are, but you might have some growing in the backyard. That's what I've done with seed before, or put them in a pod that I wasn't using, and then all of a sudden leaves popping out, and yeah, you just don't know. So be going to the gas station and to Pollo Tropical because Ashley did not make me any dinner, but she was also busy doing other things. Would I consider Washington to be a weed? I don't live in the tropics, but people say they're grow like crazy. Yeah, I hate to say it, but Washingtonia is just one of those. I really think Washingtonia mellifera is very cool. Washingtonia robusta, because of the way that it's been used in Florida and the way that it gets out of cultivation into like natural Florida landscapes, like just into the wild. Definitely makes it a weed. It's a class 2 invasive weed by Florida standards, by the state of Florida. So it is technically a weed. Whenever I do these live streams, I never drive the speed limit. As in, I drive less than the speed limit. Because it's obviously not safe to drive speed while you're chatting. I don't know. Maybe it isn't a big deal. But so. I might actually do is... Maybe I'll just get the food. I'll go to the gas station. That way I can keep the stream going. And... Oh no, I do have to go to the gas station though. Damn it. I can still keep it going if you guys want to just talk amongst yourselves, like, you know, like in Saturday Night Live, the coffee talk. So, okay, so we have border zone 7AB. Oh yeah, I mean, Palmetto's, if you're in zone 7, you have, especially if you have a warm summer zone 7, like say, like for example, Richmond, Virginia, where I lived there in this, you know, when I was younger, you'll get them popping up. I mean, the thing is, a hard freeze is gonna like knock a lot of them back. And I say hard freeze, I mean like when it gets down to, I've seen it get down to like 8 in Richmond. I remember because I was walking at night with my friends in middle school. So, oh, you're in Richmond? I grew up in Richmond. I went to St. Christopher's School. I don't know if you know where that is. I grew up like, I don't know if you know where Windsor Farms is, like, what's it called? Carey Street area. So, yeah, it was 8. I remember seeing it on the bank. You know, we didn't have cell phones since 1996. So, yeah, Carey, on the other side of 195 of Carytown. But yeah, I used to go, I had friends who lived in Carytown. I used to skateboard in Carytown. And, yeah, I used to be a skater. We're talking like 1995. So, I feel pretty old now. But yeah, I used to spend a lot of time there because I, you know, kind of just lived across the way. Carytown's I heard it's become very cool, even cooler than it was when I was there. So I heard that during the 2000s it kind of had I mean, not that it didn't need a revitalization, but are they really starting to plant palms? You know, there is a trick. There was a Trekkie that I saw in Richmond that apparently had been there since 1949, Fortunii. So I think that Richmond is a great place to plant the cold hardiest. I think needles are fine, Trekkies are fine, probably Sable Minor. And if you're, you know, in protected areas, you can try Butias, you can try, you know, some other ones. So there's more and more people. Yeah, I mean, that's what I haven't encouraged a whole lot of planting because I haven't had a lot of friends that have come back to. But yeah, especially like in, you know, by the water on the south side of town, and I grew up in the West End, so. But yeah, all right, Tyler, see you later. Mediterranean fan palms, but yeah, I think in protected areas you can get away with that. I think it might be, you might still get a, you know, a little bit of burn back, but you never know. So what I can do is I can keep this thing running while Alright, I'm going to make the choice of going to Pollo Tropical. Okay. So I'm now in Cape Coral. I think that Ocean County, New Jersey. I always thought coastal New Jersey was a good place to grow palms. I think that Long Island isn't a terrible place either, considering how mild it is. I also lived eastern Long Island growing up, so you might hear a little bit of it in my voice. Oh, more messages. Okay, looks like people got to get going, so maybe I will. Yeah, we'll have to kill the stream, depending. We'll see. I gotta fill this beast up with gas. I don't have to, but I'm right here, so. And the price is right, at least for now. Oh no, there's a long line at Pollo. I don't know about that. Just get some weed here. Oh, let's see what happens first. Get gas. So, I think I just denied that guy a person of gasoline, at least at this point. So, all right, we'll see. I'm gonna turn the car off here, and I'll keep it running and see if there's anything else that. If not, then I'll kill it. But guys, so all right, well, I can. Okay. So people in Montreal are growing trickies. That's a little bit crazy. I could see like along the lakes, but Montreal, it's a little rough. And I heard about people growing in Chicago too. Which were bad. How does a palm stay green inside a dark box? What do you mean by a dark box all winter? Do you mean like inside a dark greenhouse, or you mean when people put boxes over them? No problem. With the videos, I'm not sure about what you mean by dark box. You mean they put a box over them to cover them for the winter? There's got to be some light coming in because they wouldn't survive otherwise. So, but hold on, let me finish this up here. Oh, and that's not even halfway done. Never mind. So, oh. When I don't own the rights to this music, if it somehow comes up on YouTube, I don't know if that's how that works, but I've seen like videos taken down because, well, you know, like there's music in the background, so who knows. My Wawa card didn't work. I was very upset. How can you improve drainage conditions? Mound the palms up, or you can dig around the palms and add in rock or fill like things that are more porous. If they're already in the ground, it's kind of hard to do unless you really want to do some excavating. But you can put in like your own little mini drain field for like the larger roots, because the larger roots are the most important, but you also have to dig into them, so it's quite an excavation, and so you have to be careful as well. All right, 1 second. Okay. All right, we're back on the road. Okay. Oh wait, we're not quite back on the road. I gotta go inside. God, I forgot about that. That's the whole reason why I was getting gas. Give me a second, I'll be back. You guys can watch me in there. And unfortunately, Ashley still smokes cigarettes, so I have to go in and get it. You'll see it. So. There's still 10 people in there. What's been going on? Okay. In the wrapping any palms during the winter months. Even if you mean in Northport, I would definitely wrap those Veitchias. The problem is I wouldn't wrap them unless you're actually getting a cold snap. So, yeah, you'd have to tell whoever was there at the time to wrap them. Okay. Yeah. Now, when you said that, I was pretty sure that's what you meant. So, I went the longer way. That's right. It's not as late as I would thought it was going to be coming in the Cape Coral. Usually takes me about an hour and 15 minutes to get here. So, yeah, as far as wrapping, then the problem is when it gets hot, the palms are going to melt, and you don't want that. So, you can't really wrap a palm for cold snap for the entire winter unless you're going to have the ability to vent it. It has no ability to take in oxygen, that sort of thing. Or, sorry, take in carbon dioxide. Man, it's so busy in here. This is sad. This is not good. I don't know what to do here. It's not that busy, but it's just becoming a... What to do? What to do? What to do? This guy seems very intent on making sure that I don't get ahead of him. So... It's 8:30. Oh, maybe they're just trying to get through. Okay. Sure thing. How did I get into palms? I think I actually have a... You know what, guys? I'm going to go to Wawa and just get a sandwich, because this is going to be a long and drawn-out situation. You know, it's like a 15-minute wait. And they get bogged down. They don't even have... They run out of stuff. Unfortunately, that location sucks. Not that you guys need to worry about that. I'm actually going to go back to Wawa. Because Wawa actually has halfway decent food for... I mean, it actually has really good food for a gas station, but it's halfway decent for. Um, if you can hold on to that thought, I'm gonna go back in and order some food, and I will answer that how to get into Palms. So, um, just give me about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. I'll leave it running. I'm not gonna leave the car running, but I'll leave this running so the stream itself is still going. All right. Okay. Still 9 people hanging on. Thank you. I don't know a whole lot of extra time. I'm only about 10 minutes away from home. If that. But I will still continue to talk. So, the how did I get into Palms question is a good one. I have a video about how I got into Palms, but the short story is really what happened was I oh shit. Whoops. You guys didn't hear that? I I moved down here from New York in 2004, and I really had kind of left school, and I just didn't really know. I knew that I enjoyed plants, but I didn't have a lot of direction. I had a mentor. I was just collecting seed everywhere. Just what a lot of people, many of you guys might have done, just found plants off the. I just collected seeds off any trees that were falling, or maybe bought some seeds online, and through the magic of the internet, I started finding less common seeds and just people to trade with, and it's got more and more into it, just doing it kind of 24/7. So, and I started a nursery. So, gorgeous triangle in January prior to the freeze in Central Florida. Yeah, it's hard to wrap a triangle. They're very upright leaflets. So I'm guessing the triangle survived, but it was pretty burnt up. Crazy late. Like hell. Yeah, sorry. What is the temperature here? It's 75 according to my car. So it was like 66 this morning. I actually had to get the oil changed in my Ridgeline, and the tire pressure sensors go off. In Florida, it's fall when your tire pressure sensors go off. So I think the low is going to be like 70 tonight, and then it's going to actually get a little chilly over the weekend. Where I'm going, St. Cloud, is going to get down to the mid 50s, which is, I haven't seen that in a long time. I'm actually looking forward to it. So, but yeah, it's nice out now. This is the kind of time of the night or day or to walk around. I need to get some exercise. Something unrelated to Palms is been having some high blood pressure readings at times where I've had bad anxiety, and it seems to go back to normal, but it's a little bit scary. So I've been kind of trying to get more exercise in. So yeah, I need to watch some more of the other channels. Honestly, I watch too much poker. You can ask Ryan all about that. Yeah, 40 degrees. That's my dad told me it was 40 last night in Vermont while he's walking the dog, one of his dogs. And he tells me it's not that cold. Well, it's pretty cold. 40 degrees here is enough to keep me inside until sunrise, so until noon again. So, but I'll tell you this, Ryan. This is a poker thing, so sorry guys. But I run pretty decent in poker, but as far as stoplights go, I run worse than anyone else I know. I had the worst run bad in hitting stoplights. I don't know if you guys saw that, but shorts and a hoodie. I like shorts and a hoodie. Like, you guys would never see me wear long pants. I just don't do it. I couldn't tell you the last time I wore long pants. In fact, I think it actually was. I wore athletic shorts for work one morning in Miami when it was like 48. It was like the lowest low it got. But I can't stand, so yeah, at 48 I'm okay with a hoodie, but I tend not to go outside, and I have a heater on. I don't usually like turning on the heat in the house because usually there's so much cobwebs in the ducts that it ends up burning a little bit and sets off the smoke alarm. Do you know what the blue lights on top of the street lights are? Okay, so yeah, the blue lights, what they are, they're sensors to determine. They started this in like the Orlando area about 10 years ago. They basically are able to sense if a car runs a red light or if it jumps the gun on a. But there's no red light tickets in this county. There's only in Sarasota and a couple others. So, so what's my work? The blue lights. So, anyways, the blue lights will sense when it will trigger to like someone watching the traffic around here. Like there's someone running. If someone habitually is running lights, then they'll know. But that's the way I guess it's kind of like a sensor. So what's my work? Mostly what I do is consulting for botanical gardens and for private individuals. Tend to be larger gardens, but again, if you guys want to do, a number of people have done consultations. A couple of whom are watching the stream and or have been watching the stream. I don't know if it's still on. But yeah, I do mostly consultations. I do a lot of I'm doing seed sales and brokering of plants and growing of plants. Just sometimes my nursery's gone, so I can't grow everything in my backyard. They don't allow that. So I can sell seed though. But I miss the fire pits. We have one. We just don't really use it. So here I am, another red light. It's pretty funny. Well, it's not that funny because I want to get home, but anyway, I got about 5 more minutes, I'd say, till I'm home. Any favorite retail nurseries? The problem is the retail nurseries pretty much just sell the common plants, and you can get those cheaper at Home Depot and Lowe's. I would say that there isn't a single. The closest nursery that's good for like more uncommon plants is gonna be probably some of my friends on Pine Island, Hazeltine. They mostly deal in like large plants. They're not a bad place. They have good plants, and they do buy from what they don't have. They tend to buy from good brokers. They've been in Venice for a long time. They're like an old Venice family, so I definitely have a lot of respect for like their small, them being there forever, and it's funny. I just got a text about a good game running tonight, right? In this town. I'm in Cape Coral now, but yeah, Hazeltine's not bad. If they have the plant you want, they should have a decent price. So, do only idiots buy? I don't want to say that. Sometimes Lowe's has a good deal on palms, but if it's your only option, then I don't blame you. In Florida, you have a lot of options. So anyway, I'd be happy to come back to Florida in 11 days too. I know it's been getting cold out there. But I remember sometimes they'll just have palms you'll be surprised what you can find at Lowe's or Home Depot. They'll have palms mislabeled and underpriced. I saw some pretty weird stuff there. So it depends on whoever they're buying from, or brokering, because they really are a broker. They take in plants to sell in their lots, and whatever isn't sold gets sent back to the nursery. So they're not growing these things; they're just brokering them. But some of these guys will grow some weird stuff, and you can find some plants that you would otherwise have to drive. Some plants I have to drive 3-4 hours to get a good selection of, and good size. But if you're willing to make the trek, Southeast Florida has big rare plants. I have small ones, but I hate to say it, but a couple of my buddies just do have more nearby. Do you have good poker games nearby? The best place to play in Florida is the Hard Rock in Tampa. If you come down to Northport, I can bring you to a game in Sarasota, which is right next to the dog track, which has or if you want to come down to Cape Coral, there's some better games down here. It's like a 1-2 with a pretty much mandatory 5 straddle, and the games get pretty big. And there's a couple people that you might know Actually, I'll mention this to you because it's not really like I'm. But Grinder's ex-wife, actually deals one of the games I play at, which is really weird considering the man has like 16 million in tournament earnings. I know he went broke and all, but uh, it's kind of odd to see her there, you know. So, so yeah, if you come down, man, we can go play at the games, or we can go to wherever. Some rows grow smaller and skinnier. Yes, it really depends on the culture. If they're growing in a swampy area with a lot of fertilizer, they will get very fat, or if they're given a ton of water. If they grow in a drier area, then they will have a skinnier trunk and crown shaft. And what are your thoughts on Picaria phoenix alfredii? I think it's one of the best palms to come out of the past 15 years as far as landscape potential. That thing is really hardy. It doesn't have. It seems to be not. Doesn't really care about soil. Take full sun even when young, and looks just like a coconut. I'm surprised it hasn't already, taken over. Like, I mean, you can grow that in Jacksonville. I mean, at least warmer parts of Jacksonville. So, I used to grow them by the hundreds, if not more. But do you know why Grinder got divorced? Uh, According to Lily, she said that he just wasn't being, I don't know, wasn't around enough, wasn't, honestly, I think Griner still wanted to live the lifestyle of, of a star poker player, and she wanted to be a mom, and that's where they kind of, it was touted as irreconcilable differences. So, she's kind of, broke right now. So I imagine that, there wasn't a whole lot of money in that divorce. It wasn't over, I don't think it was over money. Uh, it wasn't like, I mean, it could have been that he didn't have any money, but I mean, considering the man won 3 poker player championships, I wonder where that money goes. I know that he does run a big poker club in online, the Grinders Club on PP Poker, but I don't make this too poker related, get other people mad, but yeah, send me a message, I can tell you more about it, but it's just odd to see, someone you've seen on TV and during, like the World Series of Poker main event, suddenly dealing your game, and it's weird to say the least. So anyway, I am home now and I'm starving, so I'm gonna end this here. I'll try and do this more. I might even, I might even do this tomorrow because I have a long drive, 3 hours and 15 minutes, 3.5 hours uh, to St. Cloud. So I might throw this on there. So, what's my favorite palm right now? Oh, I don't know. Uh, uh, that's a good question. There's so many of them, Probably, let's see. Probably have to go with Kentiopsis pearsoniorum. Very hard to get, and it's very pretty, and it grows here. So, but anyway, I'm gonna end that here, and thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see everyone next time. So I'll talk to you then, possibly tomorrow, depending on the drive. So, all right, see you guys later.